Just real quick, I will just kind of kick this off. We are discussing today the plans for the south end of the 331 Bridge Park, and kind of discussing what's there in the plans, and seeing if we can kind of develop that a little bit. We have $6 million in funds through the state that we can use for that. And we're also going to talk about some possible projects on the north end, depending on what we can do with those funds. We're not 100% sure at this point if we'll be able to use the funds for the north end, but we just kind of want to at least get some feedback and consideration, just so when we get a definitive answer on how we can move forward, we'll kind of already have some plans in place for the north end. So I'm going to, I think, go ahead and ask
Cliff Nauer.
No, we don't want him.
I want to ask him some questions.
Yeah, Lisa was going to make some copies, but we have in the packet, and Cliff, you want to come up and introduce yourself? Cliff is with, I think everybody knows Cliff.
I don't know. Do we know Cliff? Yeah, oh yeah, that's Cliff.
Is there still purple bridge?
You having a bad hair day?
You look handsome to us. You just go right ahead. No.
No,
It's Ms. Chairman. The answer
it's
is
Madam Chair.
Strike two.
We know where the big hairdresser is.
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. I was lucky enough to be on the team with Parsons Brinkerhoff to design the park. We also did all the utility design for the entire causeway and the survey work. And so I was able to pretend that it was my own boat ramp. And I actually have a 28-foot boat, and the only boat ramp really in the south end that is very good for launching a boat that size is Hogtown, since Hogtown's Cessna Landing, since it's been redone. And so with that in mind, we designed the new park to be able to handle essentially a 28-foot trailer with a full-size truck like a F-250 size truck. And so in terms of maneuverability, to be able to circulate in and out and park the boat and get your boat back out, it's all laid out for a 26-foot trailer and a full-size truck. We initially had 13.5 feet of clearance under some of the pile caps, and we actually made a design change recently in the last probably 3 weeks to change the exit route so that we now have about 17 feet of clearance. And so 17 feet of clearance allows people to have, you know, antennas sticking up and towers sticking up and all those type of things to be able to get out of the ramp, get off the ramp and onto the highway fairly easily. You know, bridge overpasses are usually 15 feet of clearance, and so we actually provide more clearance than what they have on many of the bridges on I-10, for example. And so right now there's 17 boat and trailer spaces. There's 72 regular vehicle spaces. We have a 400-foot pier that they're driving piles on right now. That's going to be on the far east end. It'll be on the east side of the park. And it will go parallel to the new bridge, headed due north on the east side. And so they're driving piles for that right now. It's going to be a fantastic facility. We've put a lot of time and thought into how to do it. We've, you know, certainly, I think everybody probably has some ideas of what can be done to improve it, or what can be done to use these additional funds on the park itself. But and I'll be happy to share any of my ideas. But I know that the public's here today to voice their opinion on that. Be happy to answer any kind of questions that you guys might have.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, sir. Go, you start.
Cliff, the renderings that we have here,
Yep.
then the layout is a little bit different than what's shown here as far as the pier. It shows it going down between them, so it's been moved to the east on the outside of those columns. Is that it?
Yeah, on this on this rendering right here, the gazebos are actually in the water. You see
Right.
the gazebos in the water, those are no longer gonna be there. They're actually all gonna be on land. There's gonna be one gazebo that's in the middle of the fishing pier halfway out. So 20 by 20 gazebo will be on the fishing pier about halfway out.
Okay.
Is there any way you might be able to put on here what you just named? On that thumb drive?
Concrete fishing pier.
All right, that's okay. Anyways, the pier that's gonna be on the east side, in the middle of the pier will be a 20 by 20 gazebo. The other two gazebos are both on land.
Okay.
So that has changed since the original plan. We tried to get the gazebo set up out here on the water, but they, permitting wise, wasn't good.
Okay, based upon the recent adjustments to the plan, was that part of the contract bid for SCANSA to do that work in their bridge bid?
Yes.
So what we would probably see out there as far as the parking, the gazebos, the bathrooms, the fishing pier, money's been set aside for that part of it.
Yes, sir. That's part of their design build process.
Okay, so question is now, do we want to, are we too far along down what they're doing now as far as the pier and the other stuff to make any significant structural changes out there or locations and stuff because of the sewer lines, water lines, whatever the case may
Yeah, as far as where the gazebos are going, where the
Yeah.
restaurant's going, where the pier's going, it's pretty well set. Some things that you can do pretty easily is we can add a lot more parking on the south end of the project. We actually have 3 full spans that we could have additional parking underneath. And I say a full span, it's about 100 feet between spans. So there's really about 300 feet underneath the bridge where you have plenty of head clearance to have additional parking of some sort. Boat and trailer parking,
Did
regular vehicle parking.
Was there any consideration, Cliff, to maybe put some type of kiddie park there?
That was my question. Didn't we have a play park there?
I thought we
In
did
the
at
very
one
beginning?
time.
No, ma'am, we didn't. I did meet with you one time, and you suggested that you would like to have a children's park.
Yes.
Kind of by the restroom area fenced in.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that happens at a boat ramp is, there's lots of
Yeah.
cars and trucks and boats,
Yeah.
and things moving and maneuvering.
Yeah.
Which is not a great place for kids to be hanging out, and so.
Yeah, I figured that was what, yeah,
One of Cindy's ideas was to fence in an area near the restroom,
yeah.
so that if you had small kids, you could kind of put them in there.
South of the parking area, though, where there's nothing yet developed on there, could you not put something like that, the kids' park there?
Yeah, you could, certainly.
Yeah, a play park with all kinds of neat play equipment, but let me ask you, Cliff, too. This, where this drawing shows people kind of walking down, kind of a promenade, along the way. You see where I'm talking? It shows people walking.
The last page.
The last page.
Yeah. It shows people walking down that promenade.
Yes.
Does that promenade have any kind of railing or anything on it? Because if it's going to be a long promenade like that,
Yeah, it's actually been, this one shows a large stretch of timber boardwalk.
yes.
About half of that stretch is now just a sidewalk,
Okay,
concrete sidewalk,
okay.
and then the other half is timber.
Oh, I see.
The section that is timber does have handrails on it.
Okay, so you won't have people walking all out there close to the water without railing? Okay, I see what you're talking about. It's now a sidewalk, but how far is that sidewalk from the actual water?
Well, I think it's about 2 feet off the riprap, so there's a riprap slope that goes down.
Yeah.
And it's about 2 feet off of that.
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'd like a railing along there because, it's pretty easy to fall in off of a side of a long stretch like that.
Right.
Do you think? Or,
You got some people that are gonna want access to the rocks to fish too.
yeah,
And so, kind of probably will catch it both ways. you know, some folks would probably not rather have a railing.
Okay, so you think people would fish off of that instead of,
They can, yes.
okay,
Yep.
instead of going out on the pier and
Yep.
fishing?
You'll be able to fish off that whole length right there.
Okay.
I don't guess there's any chance of any swimming in that area.
It's pretty.
I know the
deep.
answer's no, but
It's
go ahead and
pretty
tell.
deep.
Why would you not be able to swim there?
It's pretty.
Good,
deep, isn't it?
okay.
It's pretty deep, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know any reason why you would not be able to swim in that.
But Cliff, if you're going to swim there, don't you need a little roped off section for swimming? Because let's say somebody just decides to swim, you know, off of one of those pilings and kind of where the boats are coming and going, and
Yeah, that would be a problem.
You think they'd have enough sense.
That would be a problem.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
guess if
giving
you could
people
put a
credit for
heavy part
sense.
toward the south part that's not paved, you probably could get a swimming area there too, I would assume.
is there a little beach area there on the south
There's
part?
not really any beach
Yeah.
areas to speak of. The riprap goes all the way down into the water, and it's probably 3-4 feet deep at the bottom of the riprap
Yeah,
as far as water depth goes. So there's not really any beach areas to speak of.
okay.
It's pretty much riprap all the way around.
But you could walk over the riprap and get your feet wet and that sort of thing if you wanted to.
I suppose you could.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you would stop someone from doing that.
At the very southeast corner of the bridges, so it'd be the northbound bridge on the east side, south end. I thought that was a sandy beach area in there, or is that private property?
There is some sandy beach area that would be on the west side of the causeway. On the west southwest side of the causeway, there is some sandy beach area over there.
Isn't that private, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of, part of it's on 331. When you get way far south, it turns to private, but the majority of it's on 331. There is a sidewalk that's gonna be continuous on that side.
Yeah.
And so the sidewalk will be on the west side. Say you're coming from Chad Holly, on the sidewalk on Chad Holly. You come around the corner headed north. You would go on the west side of the existing bridge north. And once you got under the existing bridge, it actually crosses under the bridge and comes into the park. And so we've got a continuous bike path, multi-use path, really from Chat Holly all the way into the park. And so we've got all of those pedestrians and bikers and what have you, kind of separated from traffic on 331 by coming under the bridge.
Well, Jay, can you include that as some of your exploratory items for possible uses of this? I mean, there's lots of things that can be done, and I think the kids. I think Commissioner Meadows, you had mentioned a couple meetings ago you were involved with the seniors looking for a place. And I don't know if that's a facility that would be suitable to construct in there or not, but it just, from a standpoint of exploring possibilities, and hopefully the public will have some things too, I think that at least give us an idea whether it's doable, practical.
If there's
reasonable.
enough land, yeah, if there's enough land to, you know, and it,
And I think when you take a look at the land that's there, especially between the north and south spans,
Yeah.
before you ever get out to the park where you've got the parking lot and fishing pier, there appears to be a lot of
Could you construct a
buildable area that's in there.
senior center with
There's a
that $6
tremendous
million?
amount, underneath the bridge spans, there's a
Yes.
tremendous amount of area.
Yes.
It's not currently being utilized in any way, and it's not required for stormwater. So it is a very large area that could be used somehow, for sure.
Cliff, if you're coming south, and once they get the southbound lanes fixed, there's an old road bed, which was the old 331 road bed that went to the wooden piers, that went to the wooden bridge, that got knocked out. There's a lot of space between the northbound and the southbound lane right in there that could be possibly utilized for some additional park space. You don't know where I'm talking about? It's,
no.
What about parking for beach shuttle?
Well, between the, that's a great idea too. Between the two bridges is the exit ramp coming out of the park.
I understand, but I'm talking about on the north side now, on the north side where the old road bed was
Yeah,
there.
where the old beach was.
Yeah.
And in between them, I noticed it today coming down, there's significant space there that goes right down to the water that could probably be enhanced there. The question then is, how do you get in there and out of there?
Who owns that? Do we own that?
Yeah, that's
It's on 331.
on 331.
Oh, okay.
It's between, it's where where the new bridge comes down
Okay.
on the north
Yeah,
side,
on
and
the
the
other-
existing
okay.
causeway goes by, the
Yeah.
Yeah,
big area.
big area there.
But access to be able to get people to it might be difficult. And there'll be guardrail.
Well, you know, we always need more recreation buildings, you know, more buildings to, you know, to go inside from a park when it's raining or it's real hot or, you know, and have different activities in that. So that's an idea. If you could fit that somewhere in here, I don't know.
Well,
You'd
you
have
could
to
put in
look at it.
pavilions, like at We Care Park, and have picnic tables, and have maybe grills.
Yeah.
You know, those
you could-
stationary grills.
Could definitely do that.
You could do that
Yeah.
in the areas to the
Yeah.
south that we were talking about
Yeah,
before.
could definitely do that.
You could fit all sorts of pavilions and stuff in there. You got about 22 feet of headroom.
Is it gonna be noisy under there?
I don't expect it will. It's fairly open.
Okay.
It hasn't been noisy during the construction work we're doing.
Okay. I'm just wondering what it's gonna be like under there for, you know, activities or what it's gonna be like under there.
It's not very loud. From the traffic that's on the bridge right now, it's not
Okay.
loud underneath at all.
Okay.
One of the things that we kind of identified early on is that a lot of the old bridge and the old bridge pilings have graffiti and stuff on them
Yeah.
that look horrible. And so one of the things that we discussed kind of early on was maybe trying to spray epoxy paint on those pilings to cover up the graffiti that's under there right now. When we get done, it's gonna be fantastic, but you're looking at graffiti on the pilings that's been there for 25 years.
Yeah, I think we need to do something about that.
Painting those pilings underneath would probably make a big difference as far as aesthetics go for the new park.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then how are you gonna keep people from painting graffiti on the new? On the new, are you gonna have cameras out there? You gonna have cameras out there?
Well, we can install cameras out there, maybe.
'Cause I think you're gonna need 'em.
You guys wanna look at doing that,
Very
maybe go
much
straight
so.
to the sheriff's
I
department.
think you're gonna need them.
Very much so. That needs to be added to the list.
We
Yes.
have it lit up pretty good, we have
Yeah,
lighting
but
all through the park.
Okay.
So everything is lit, and it should be lit pretty well at night also.
Will it be lit all night long, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you guys control the power.
Okay. I think security cameras for sure.
yes.
I would think so too, that, especially if you start having issues with vagrants or whatever, you know, setting up camp underneath the bridge.
Yeah, is there prohibition on overnight parking, camping, what have you?
I don't think that signage has been set up to
Okay.
prohibit those types of things. That's probably something that you guys want to maybe take a look at is, you know, whatever kind of prohibitions you want to put together. DOT and Skanska do not have plans for any kind of signage that prevents overnight parking.
Well,
That's something that you want to do.
if I'm
so that you can-
correct, that'll become a county park.
Yeah.
And we have an ordinance prohibiting overnight camping, so I don't see why we couldn't put the signage up and ask the sheriff to enforce it.
Yeah, well, the gazebo that's out there on the fishing pier is someplace that I would love to camp. So that might be one place where you find people.
So we'll find Cliff out there one night.
Yeah.
So the bathrooms, those will have showers in them or just restrooms?
They do not currently have showers. We could add showers to them real easy.
You could put a set down where the kiddie park is, separate ones. If they're gonna go swimming,
Yeah.
put the showers down there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or build a separate set.
Or maybe at least outdoor showers where you could want rents off or such.
you know, wash down facilities for a boat is another idea that
Yeah.
Might be something you might want to consider so that when you do pull your boat out, you got a place with a hose where you can wash your stuff down before you take off.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to launch a canoe, kayak, or YOLO board? Where would you launch one of those if you wanted to get out in the bay and use these facilities?
Yeah, you would have to launch it at the boat ramp. There's
Okay.
not any special kayak or canoe launch facilities.
Okay.
Those also would be easy to install.
Yeah.
They actually have some great canoe and kayak launches. Water Management District has been putting in a lot of different places. Kind of a platform with a
Yeah.
handle that goes over.
That
the
would be
top.
my idea, is to separate those from the boat launches so that, you know, you could have all those activities wherever they would fit the best in here. Canoe, kayak, and YOLO boards.
Yep.
Maybe on the other side.
We got plenty of places that we can set one of those up, would not be a problem.
I think that would be a great idea. Yeah.
Cliff, question is, do we try to have an amended contract with Skansa to complete this, or wait till Skansa pulls out and is finished and then come in with their own design and work with DOT on this thing? That's the impression I got from Mr. Barfield when I went to Chipley, is that probably need to let Skansa finish up and go, and then work it out with DOT. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's still plenty of time if you wanted to add some stuff to their contract. There's still plenty of time for it. It's a matter of, whether you want to bid stuff out yourself and have several contractors bid on it, or if you want to just get Skanska to price it out for you.
Well, the impression I got from Chipley was that we could expect it to be inflated if Skansa was to try and correct this bid, or not correct it, but add stuff to it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Be worth an ask, wouldn't it?
That you could give them an opportunity to price it out and see what they come back with, or you could, as a board, just decide to wait until it's over. Either way.
Are we still anticipating February 2017 as the final completion?
Yes, sir.
It might be, it takes us that long to get our act together, as to all the things we'd want to see and get it designed, and then it'd be ours anyhow.
Yeah.
The restrooms, how many restrooms are there? I noticed it looks like there's one building with restrooms. Is that the case?
That's correct.
And is there one men and women?
There's several stalls on each side.
Okay,
Yeah. The restroom's actually pretty good size.
pretty good size, okay. So there's multiple restroom,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
And we could always build more if we need them.
Yeah, it was,
Right, down at the other.
Yeah.
it was designed to all the, current TDC standards for some of the facilities that they're doing in other places.
Okay.
I think the Van Ness Butler Access has a lot of the same type of, facilities that we're using here.
And what is on this drawing here, what does the green represent in the middle of this parking area? You see where I'm talking?
Yeah, that is a very, very old drawing.
Is that your last page, Cindy?
Well, it's this page which shows,
Gotcha.
I think, the most recent plan.
Yeah, that's a stormwater pond.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, there's no stormwater treatment at all under there right now, and so as part of our mitigation for impacts, we are providing some stormwater treatment before it discharges to the bay. That was one of the things that we did to satisfy our DEP friends as part of the design.
okay.
Is on the, as you're coming from the north, on the right side of the old bridge where we used to have picnic tables and we had a boat launch or two and that sort of thing, is there going to be any of that left and usable at all?
None of it. In fact, it's in their contract to remove all of that.
Okay. And I certainly have not read the contract or with DOT cover to cover, but is the leftover funds strictly for the park south of the bay, or can it be used throughout the bridge?
Well, from what I understand, DOT, and this is Cliff, this is not DOT, from what I understand, DOT doesn't care what you use it for. I think there were issues related to how those funds were collected that might govern where and how you spend it.
Yeah,
I know it
correct.
had
That's
to
what I
be spent
thought.
on the bridge.
I thought it had to be on the bridge. Did we ever determine if there's other uses?
We
The direction we have is it has to be between the two shores right now, although there is some expansion for approaches. so there could be
Okay.
some that may be-
I don't think DOT has restricted anything on how you can use those funds. I think it has to do with how you guys collected the
It has
funds.
to do with both the referendum and the park.
Yeah.
Cliff, is there electricity? Are there electricity outlets out here anywhere?
There are, no, right now there's not. We could easily add some any place we wanted to, but right now there's not.
Okay, are there any water spigots? Are there any extensions of, available water sources that,
Right now, the only water spigot is at the lift station. But again, We could add water spigots pretty much anywhere
Yeah,
we wanted to.
I just find that, you always need water spigots,
Yeah.
more of those, and you always need electrical outlets because there's always something somebody wants to plug in. And let me ask you another thing. Is Wi-Fi available here?
You could,
Do you know?
You could probably set up a server to make Wi-Fi available there.
Because I'm looking at this, people are going to come here and they're going to be in their boats and they're going to be, and people want to be Wi-Fi accessible everywhere they go these days. And, they have things that they want to plug in and they have, so I would just suggest maybe looking at some of those as well.
I know that Cox Cable does have service down that way.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it'd probably be pretty easy to set something up.
He said, what about restrooms
Maybe in the
and
restroom
water
facilities
out on
or
the
something
pier?
like that
Yeah.
with cable box.
Because it's
that would
400 feet
provide
long.
Wi-Fi.
Another,
Broadband
your-
going down there?
I would think so, yeah. Another question is let's say that I have a big boat and I pull it up to this dock and I park it there.
Restrooms.
Can I park it there overnight?
Restrooms and water.
Well, I don't think there's been any
Same with the
rules
clean fish.
set up that would
Yeah, on the
prohibit you
pier.
from doing
Uh-huh.
that at this point.
Uh-huh.
So there's no signage that we have going up that would prevent that.
Okay. Yeah, because, think about it. If you had, because what people like to do, obviously, is they like to pull up, park, spend the night here, go down, eat at the bay, come to a commission meeting, probably, something like that.
Shower and Wi-Fi, you really don't need to go anywhere.
If you had that, you would have,
And electricity, hey.
and yeah, I don't know what this is actually gonna be set up for, but I mean, I think that would be you would have a way then for people to come in with their boats, get out, come to the beach, do whatever, get in their boat and go somewhere else.
Yeah, there's not a lot of mooring areas. In other words,
Okay.
if you look at the boat ramps themselves,
Yeah,
you could probably park, a boat on the end of the L shape on each one.
Yep.
And probably a boat on the inside.
yeah.
But other than that, there's not a good place really to moor a boat, because everything's gonna be rock.
Okay,
It's gonna be rock all the way around.
okay,
And so
okay.
you could anchor your boat up and swim to shore, or anchor your boat up offshore somehow.
Take a dinghy to shore or something?
Yeah. But there's not a lot of places really to tie up a boat, I guess you'd say.
Okay. It's not like a marina.
No.
Commissioner Meadows, at our Ogtown facility, we don't allow boats to tie up overnight at the dock.
Okay, okay. Now, who enforces that?
Code enforcement does it, and we're on duty, and
Okay.
sheriff does it the rest of the time.
Okay, but boats can park out in the bay and
Yes, ma'am.
anchor out there and all night? Okay, okay.
Cliff, since our dock is going to be so long, do you think we need restrooms and water on the dock? I know, like, if they
Pier.
catch fish, clean fish, way out on the dock,
On the fishing pier,
fishing pier, yeah.
well, I mean, it's 400 feet, it's not really that far, it's not like one of the Panama City piers or
Right.
county piers. I mean, those are 1,300 feet.
Right, so just water then? I mean, what if they clean if they clean fish way out there? Or would they come in to do it? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, water spigots on the pier might be handy.
Okay.
We don't have them set up right now, we certainly could add water out to the pier without problem for people to wash down, or
I think it'd be handy. I mean,
Yeah.
as hot as it gets and as,
you just gotta keep an eye on people, making sure they shut it off, that's the issue.
well, that is true.
When you have
well, you
spigots
could
in
have
there,
the ones that automatically shut off, couldn't you?
You gotta hold it open.
Yeah, you probably could.
You hold it open to make
I
it,
mean, that's the biggest issue, is getting people to make sure they shut it
Yeah,
off. Somebody
yeah.
to check to make sure they shut it off.
Right.
get those that, you have to hold
It
open.
it seems like we're trying to make as many amenities as possible to make things nice for people that come here to want to come back. And so all these things like the electricity, like the water, like the spigots going on the pier, like an area to clean your fish, all those things are opportunities that we can do. And we ought to be looking at as part of the whole picture of what we want to do, whether we build buildings, whether we add more beach area for kids to go into, or a playground. I mean, I just want to see that, I'd like to see us make this a really, really nice facility that people will enjoy coming to and want to go back to.
Yeah, and we do have landscaping going throughout the park as well with irrigation. So it will be fully landscaped and irrigated.
Could you create a beach? if you created one, where would it be? South side?
Probably the best place would be probably on the south end of the park, on the east side is the shallowest
Yeah.
existing water.
Yeah, that would kind of connect into the beach that's at the bay? Is that what you're talking? Restaurant?
There's
The
a real
restaurant?
shallow area on the west side, but it's south of the bridge and the park and all that. The shallowest area that's within the park is on the east side, on the
Okay.
south end.
Okay.
But you've also got the, Chalkahatchee sturgeon, issues, and so
Yeah, so what,
protected species and dump and fill just to build a beach might be a hard argument.
okay.
Swim with the sturgeons.
Yeah, swim.
Swim?
Cliff, is
Instead
that,
of the
Gulf
dolphins,
sturgeon, sorry.
swim with the sturgeon. Okay.
is that trick board on the boardwalk portion?
Yes, everything's Trex. All the handrails are stainless steel cable. Like you guys did at Miramar Beach. If you remember the big stink about the solid wood handrails at Miramar Beach, and you changed them all to stainless steel.
Yeah.
We did all the handrails are stainless steel on this. Except for the fishing pier, I believe it's got aluminum handrails.
I don't know what else we could add. I kind
See
of want the
what-
ice cream concession if
See
we
what the public,
Yeah,
See what the public
yeah.
needs. wants.
Is there anyone here, now that Cliff's made his presentation, that would like to make your suggestion, something you'd like to have, to talk about having us add? Yes, sir. If you come forward, please, sir.
Excuse yourself.
Afternoon, I know most everyone here, I'm Danny Copeland, I've been here all my life. And this causeway has been used since before we were born for recreation of any sort. Like, for example, what we may have left out in these DOT plans at the southwest end of the causeway is the ability for people to park just to get off the road and throw cast nets. There doesn't appear to be the availability for that anymore. That is gonna be a problem to some people who have come down here since their grandfathers and great-grandfathers did. That's a good shallow water area there to throw cast nets, which would be on the, like I said, the southwest side from the south bank to the north, probably a quarter mile anyway. You'll know what I'm talking about. Also, one other thing to address as far as a beach, whether or not we want a beach, we already have a beach. It's at the northwest side. That has always been known to my folks as the swimming beach. In the area just to the north of that, there is a protected boat slip. That would be a great boat slip there for, depends on which way the wind's out of. And then just to the north of that is the old Bay Grove store area. There are plenty of palm trees there that could be cleared out underneath, some rock put in for parking. Yeah, a restroom. No, we don't need to have a kiddie park there because that's where people have been taking their young children to swim since before, once again, we were born. So we have plenty of good opportunities at the northwest side also that really could be looked in. And once again, we've already heard that the picnic tables aren't coming back as far as DOT is concerned. Now the ball's in our hands. We have some money to do this with, and I do believe we have some willing people that would and you guys, that would be willing to look at that, because that makes too much sense. We've already got a beach there. And it's always, like I said, been known as the East Beach. We've got an area that's palm tree that's beautiful up there. There is some underbrush that'll be cheap to clear out. Rock is cheap. Make a little place to park for people to fish. But look, that square dock that was there, I don't believe it's there anymore, and whoever built it, I hope we don't get them to build it again, because it pulled out too easy. There's prevalent waves in that area there. It needs to be built a lot heavier. That was a nice little boat ramp there too, but it wasn't protected like the one further to the north where the old Bay Grove store, just south of where the old Bay Grove store was. So whether or not that area there is potentially, we can potentially purchase that It is, there's a for sale sign there on some of it right now, $850, $825 or $850. That's not terrible for what it is.
Would-
So,
Danny, just so you know, I did go and talk with the project engineer for the Skansa about the west side of the southbound lanes and what availability of land would be, just for that purpose of pulling off and if somebody wanted to throw a cast net. They told me at that time there was no plans for any guardrails from the north end of the Bayfield down to the old Clyde Wells. So that didn't shut off the access, but they're doing some realignment in there, and I don't know how far they're going to move it to the west, the new road bed, but I think there will probably be at least enough room you could pull off 15, 20 feet between the road and the riprap where you could get out and actually do some fishing. But until they get that alignment in there, we ain't going to know for sure. Now, I did stop up here on the way down and looked at that piece of property. I call it Cracker Beach. A lot of people used to call it Crackers, Swimming Beach, whatever. And it's $825 for 2.14 acres. And it is for sale. Mr. Jones and I met with, I can't remember the lady's name. Yeah. And they were looking at a piece of land that they could buy for us. And we were looking at that particular site with the boat slips and all that in there. And we're willing to buy it for us and turn it into a park. But then I guess somebody heard about it and the price quadrupled almost overnight. And it got beyond their capability to pay. I think they wanted $7 million for it or something for that parcel. So they had to back out of that, and that kind of put it to bed for us. But that 2.14 acres right there at the swimming beach, I know I'm not a legal counsel, but I would think it's close enough to that bridge project and attaches to it that we ought to be able to use some funds there, these excess funds, to maybe enhance that. You're right, there's palm trees in there, there's oak hammocks in there. It wouldn't take a whole lot. It'd take probably about 2 dump trucks to haul out the trash and garbage that people has left in there over the years. But it would make a nice, pretty setting for somebody that wanted to just go down there in the bay and swim with their kids. But we're going to have to leave that to legal as well. Not these excess funds can be expended for that, but there's possible Restore Act funds and/or Triumph funds that we might be able to use to secure that in there if we can't use these excess funds.
And if I may, Madam Chair, if you recall at the last board meeting, you asked us to review the parcel on the east side of the bridge, and we'll be ordering appraisal on that in the next couple of days. But you also gave us direction to look on the west side of the bridge at the areas you're talking about. And we will certainly look at what opportunities are there, what funding opportunities are there, whether the bridge funds can be, or if there are other available funds out there, continuing to work with the Trust for Public Land, Kate Brown and her folks. And agree 100%. I mean, Commissioner Chapman and a couple of us have been out there to look at that dock area you're talking about. It's set up, ready to go. It's just a matter of getting a willing seller and the ability to purchase it. So we are continuing to review that on behalf of the board.
The southbound area would be just a perfect fall off for people who really are down to visit relatives on the north side of the Bay Grove area and around Freeport, and they want to come, their relatives want to take it down. I have too many people in that says that's what they're doing. And they want to go down there, fish a little bit with their grandkids or great grandkids, have a picnic, get it done, and go back. So I believe that park, if I had to get out of crystal ball, I do believe that park would be just as full or fuller than the park on the south end. Just because on the south end, and this is only my opinion, but I've lived here long enough to see, on the south end, people aren't coming to Walton County that are crossing that bridge to come back to the bay. They're going to the Gulf, because we have an old funny saying, they think it's fixing to dry up. They want to get to the Gulf and see the Gulf. They might do an odd at the sundown crossing the bridge or looking at the dolphins. They're not, people's coming to South Walton, they're there for that bay. They're there for the Gulf. So thank you for letting me speak, and if you would consider that, that'd be a great.
You got your 4-wheel drive with you? You got your four-wheel drive with you?
I've got my four-wheel drive neighbor with me.
Okay. Well, when we left up there was one buried up to the hubs. A car trying to go through some of that sand inside there, and I don't know if he got it out yet or not, but he's stuck.
That's what that rock's for, in a good parking area, underneath the concrete. Thank you.
Danny, could I ask you, do we still have a lot of skiing and tubing in the bay?
Well, the yellow thing, the paddleboard and yellow thing seems to be the thing that is caught on as far as skiing and tubing. I can tell you from what I've seen, it seems to be declining, but once again, you could have God knows what
Oh,
movies
yeah.
come out that has skiing and tubing in it, like the little girl that
Right.
shoots the bow, and that's a trend for 10 years, so who
Right.
knows?
Right.
Other catches
yeah.
on, so who knows what's gonna happen.
Right. It's just not real good to get flounder out of there, right? And we used to flounder, but
Yes, we
it's,
did.
I don't know that I want to eat any fish, but we're gonna get it cleaned up somehow.
That
So,
Foundry Park, now, getting back to that, as far as the parking on the south end, for example, that Cindy was talking about, yeah, there's gonna be parking for people who are floundering at night. That's gonna be the main activity as far as the use of the park at night is parking for people who flounder. There's a considerable amount of that. Now, the bay is suffering right now because of the influx of fresh water, which has driven seems to keep the flounder toward the west end right now. But when that all changes back over, then the flounder will be back. We've got every other fish back but the flounder.
wow.
But, and the shrimp. There's not much shrimp because of that too. And oysters, of course. But it'll come back,
Always
that's
does.
just one of those cyclic things. So, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Coe. Someone else like to speak? No? Okay. Jay, do you have any other?
And next, and we kind of touched on a little bit with the previous discussion, was just alternative ideas for the north end of the bridge, which we just kind of discussed. So I don't know if you want to explore that a little bit more. I know we discussed with the marina. Barnes, you want to talk a little bit about that? Is on the western side?
Yeah, Mr. Copeland pretty much explained it, that's the piece of property he's talking about. They have an old store on it,
Yeah.
which actually contains the old marina or boat basin. But I think it'd be a good idea for the county to explore both sides of the north end of the bridge for the purchase. And possibly explore putting in another boat ramp up there.
Yeah.
Those boat ramps over at the park are used heavily on both sides, as well as that one in the middle that is called Pilcher Park. All heavily used boat ramps by people north of the bay. I understand the facility on the south side has plenty of boat ramps, but a lot of them use smaller boats, and, crossing the bay can be dangerous in the wind with the
All right, Cliff, you may know this. If you're coming south, come across the bay and you want to go into the park, you got to go all the way to Chat Holly, make a U-turn and come back. Is that correct? Wonder how many wrecks we're going to have there.
Yes, sir, if you're headed south and you want to go to the park, you're going to go to Chat Holly, make a U-turn, go to the park, and if you want to go north, when you're done at the park, you go to Chat Holly, make a U-turn, and you go north.
That's what I thought.
Is there adequate turn lanes to keep people from tying up traffic going that way?
There are turn lanes, and there's pretty long queue lengths on them. It should be okay, I think. And they've made it pretty wide there also, so for example, somebody with a boat and trailer that had to make a U-turn should be able to make a U-turn there at the Chat Holly intersection with a boat and trailer. I'm just gonna add one thing about the piece that Brian's talking about. There's actually a pretty good channel, there's a boat basin there with a dock, but there's actually a pretty good channel that goes from that boat basin straight out into the bay. You can get a pretty decent sized boat through that channel. I've been in there in my regulator, which is 26 foot. I've been back in there.
The last time I was in there looking at it, it looked like it sanded in down at the mouth of it. So how difficult would it be to get a dredge permit for you?
That would be probably a maintenance dredge permit.
Okay.
That would actually be pretty easy to get. Actually very easy to get, because that's an old boat basin, and you can demonstrate historical use. So dredging that would be very easy to get permitted.
Would the permits be just with DEP or with the Army Corps as well?
It would be both. Yep. Coast Guard falls under the Army Corps. U.S. Fish and Wildlife falls under the Army Corps. So you would get a DEP and a Corps permit, but they would include Coast Guard and U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
And just going back to the north end, Commissioner Jones mentioned at our last board meeting about landscaping and the potential of doing some landscaping at the northern approach. We will include that in our list of items that we've discussed tonight. And with board approval, we would probably want to go talk to DOT with those lists and ask them their thoughts on including them in the existing contract, waiting till it's over, what they think the most likelihood of being able to utilize the excess funds that were collected in sales tax, so that we utilize it to the maximum that we can. So we would certainly include that northern approach landscaping in that discussion.
Did you say the Highway 20?
I'm sorry?
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Yes, ma'am.
No, just, yeah.
All right.
Lee Moore.
Lee, come forward.
Hi.
More.
That's fine.
It sounds like most, not all this money is probably spent, but I just wanted to throw this out, in case there's some left over. And I don't even know that it would be enough, I haven't done enough research really to speak to this in any detail, but, I've been noticing that when I cross the bridge now, the outside of the bridge walls has a nice little, it's simple, but it's a little shape to it, comes up. The inside of the bridge walls look like Jersey barriers that you see temporarily set up on the highway for blocking something. And so, it would be wonderful if, even if it's a little something, could be done to dress up the bridge itself. And I did talk with Secretary Barfield, he said the same thing, please don't touch the contract until they're done with what they've got to do. But after that, you can do whatever, we're happy to work with you on whatever you want. So this would definitely fall into that category. It would have to be done after the fact. But anything to dress up the actual bridge itself, and really mainly just the walls, not really just walls, the little, I don't know the correct terminology, the little sides of the bridge. You know what I'm talking about. I was interested to see how much of a difference it even made, just that simple detailing on the outside versus what it looks like on the inside, which is what you see when you're driving across it. So that's just something to throw out there into the mix. But all these other plans sound like wonderful ideas and great amenities too. And I know this will be more of an aesthetic thing, but I'll throw it out there.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. We girls like things pretty,
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Coos?
Well, we kind of talked about the south end, and we talked about alternative ideas for the north end. So I guess next then that brings us to the landscaping on 331 south of the bridge. At the last BCC meeting, we talked a little bit about what kind of vegetation we'd like to see there, and so we're going to kind of expand on that since you include us moving forward with that process. We're going to do the lush landscaping that will thrive there. So we have some plans here, and I'm not sure if we can read all the different vegetation there. So I asked Jason, my director of administration, with my eyeballs, and I have my reading glasses, and he kind of wrote down some little cheat sheet for me here. So just some of the vegetation that's on here are crepe myrtles, Blanchard magnolia, Schumann oak, little gem magnolia, sable palms, and then obviously on the ground there, they got sod, mulch, and then rocks, which we talked about at the last meeting. So I know in the course of the conversation at the last meeting, the boulders that were proposed did not go over well. So might want to consider mixing those, and then also the gravel. But I think that from the conversation, Stan, you can kind of correct me since you might know this better than I. With the lush landscaping, the route that we went, we might be able to eliminate those rocks and then have sod in there as opposed to those rocks. So I think that will take care of that situation. But I know there were some conversations about the palms that are in there, maybe eliminating those and putting something else. So I have in the packet a little sheet here that talks about different types of vegetation. This came out of a workshop that we had for our design guys for the area. And so it goes over different vegetation from trees to shrubs, and then ground cover and grasses. So, if you want to talk a little bit about some of these items that might go in there, Lee, do you want to talk a little bit about that? I know you probably do, and we've had a conversation about it. So, there's lots of different trees that we identified from that workshop, and also, the shrubbery vegetation. So, I think we have some good options here. Do you want to address some of that, and we can?
As Lee's coming up, I notice your first page is, a lot of oaks and pines. And I think we need to keep in mind that these shed leaves. So if we're not careful, we're gonna have a problem with leaves piling up.
Magnolias too.
We don't, yes.
Lee can probably speak to
Yeah.
this, because I know she's working on this, but DOT's only gonna approve
Certain
varieties
ones,
of
yeah,
trees in or near the right of way,
yeah.
for safety reasons.
Yeah, it's mostly, right, for safety reasons, it's all for safety reasons, but this area seems to have a speed limit and be curb and gutter such that you have more options. God knows down on the east end of 98, we have almost no options. Yes, so luckily, we have some better conditions here. And I mentioned this to you all before at a BCC meeting, but the Scenic Corridor Foundation obviously has been very involved, and we would like to see some different species than what the FDOT has suggested. And this design for them was based on a no irrigation, ultra low maintenance type of a scenario, which we have a lot of different scenario now. So we really like the live oaks. I mean, they do shed some, but not as bad as some. I think magnolias probably would be a really maintenance nightmare.
Yes.
So they look wonderful and they are very common to see around here, but that could not be fun from a maintenance perspective. So the live oaks are wonderful. Cypress trees are great. We don't see those a lot on the roadway. They're wonderful here. We just felt like the use of the palm should be minimal. It's okay, when you see a few thrown in here and there, but especially one of the places where they have been more concentrated in their design was when you're sitting at the light at 331 and 98, straight ahead. I think that would be not a good place to put a lot of palm trees. You want to have a real native look there. And again, I'm glad to see that you all don't really want the boulders out there. And the shell, even the crushed shell for the bedding, again, that was a maintenance and water issue, irrigation issue. So we love to see just something more like what we see around here, muley grass and saw palmettos.
Muley grass is really nice.
It really
Yeah.
is, and low maintenance too. I mean, all these saw palmettos are low maintenance. All this stuff is low maintenance, which is always good. So I think that was pretty much our input.
Yeah, and Lord, lantana, you can't kill it, lantana.
Really nicely.
You can, because it's interesting, I don't know if y'all know my office, but we cut a tree down and we put 5 lantana plants in it last year. Just took over. Everything died except for 2 this year. Now you can't even, lantana comes back. And it's pretty during the summer. It does die back in the winter, but it's pretty in the summer. And also the dwarf blueberry is really pretty.
There's some nice options.
So there's some nice options. And I like low stuff anyway. You want a couple of trees, but I prefer, low stuff in the medians. I think that's, to me, more attractive.
It's a nice look.
Yeah, crepe myrtle's a good tree. I mean, they don't shed too bad, and they are pretty in the spring. So,
I don't have my notes with me.
yeah.
Cliff's
Appreciate the opportunity to have some input. Very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Nowell?
Yes, ma'am. I was just going to add, I'm not a landscape expert by any means, but I do know a lot about Little Jim magnolias. I have 65 of them in my backyard. They get to be about 15 feet tall, and I could fit in one hand the amount of leaves that a 15-foot tall tree sheds every year. They do not shed their leaves.
Wow.
So
Which one?
What kind?
Magnolias.
What's that magnolia I got in the back of my office?
That's a regular magnolia.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause it sheds.
that's a big gem.
Little gem magnolias do not shed their leaves. They stay fully leaved, I think they say foliated year round. So, I know a little bit about that.
Because I have big, I'm like you, I have big gems, you know, I can't even walk on my deck right now.
it's covered.
Yeah, so, won't need big gems.
And we have a landscaper in the audience.
Oh.
good.
Little Jim's a hybrid, it's not gonna shed, it was bred in order to stay shorter and bloom longer, so it's not gonna shed like the rest. It doesn't stand to a lot of heat in certain areas off the road, because it'll pick up on light when it's on. It'll be a maintenance, problem in the future.
How salt to-
If you make a seed, generated a seed magnolia, that we can use it on the salt areas now,
Oh.
it'll definitely get big and, very good. I like brown egg. Brown egg, Elizabeth Taylor. We use it on golf, we use it on land, we use it on hay. They'll get about 40 million. Actually, fresh horse is about the only thing you get probably let you use. They make a list.
You wanna do that after the next meeting?
How salt tolerant is the crepe myrtle? Okay.
Handle a real windy day, it'll drop leaves and stand right back up. But there's only one variety they'll let you use,
Okay.
and it's a soft part variety, so if there's an accident, a car can go through it and not stop. The whole idea of their planning is for safety. That's
Makes
where the
sense.
palm trees-
We put a NASCAR center barrier.
All right, any other, suggestions, anyone want to comment on the landscaping?
I thought it's a good idea, but, maybe in the very center. And you gotta worry about people later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there's a liability on DOT,
Oh,
there's a liability on county.
okay,
That's why they use the Desperados, the great road safety blood drawn.
okay,
As you can see on what they did already,
yeah,
you see some missing lines.
that makes sense.
FDOT has some pretty large caliber trunks, trees in the plan now.
Yeah,
So we assume that anywhere that they had the larger trees, you could put another.
larger, yeah. Okay, very good, lots of good information. Jay, do you wanna,
So I guess, we have this workshop tonight, and then we have one, next week as well. So, do we want to go back to, FDOT and tell them what we like, what we don't like, and have them revise the plan based on the conversation that we had beforehand? With the lush vegetation, the irrigation, the rocks, the boulders, none of this type of tree, we do like this, and then kind of see what they come back with.
We've actually sent them the information that was discussed at the last meeting,
okay,
and we can send them some more from the
So
discussion
feedback that we
tonight.
get from these.
yeah, after Monday, and we might, get maybe a committee or get Lee involved, and,
Okay.
because she's familiar with them, and,
Yeah.
expressing our wishes, but yeah, let's wait until Monday night.
Okay.
I believe it's Monday at 5 o'clock at the Freeport,
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock at Freeport, is it the city?
Center.
Community Center, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 o'clock, okay.
And since these are workshops and you can't take any action, I would suggest that we work to bring you a report back at the next board meeting for whatever action you'd wish to take of what we've heard, what you'd like us to take to the DOT and get those discussions moving.
Very good. So anything else?
In the meantime, you're gonna bring back, information on the 2 properties on the
We're working,
north side?
yes, ma'am, working on that.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
then we stand adjourned. How are the grand peeps?
They're good. Those 2-year-olds get sick.
Oh,
Every Saturday. One of them every Saturday.
God bless you. Well, of course, Julia and Matthew, they take care of themselves, but Lord, I don't know that I could start taking care of another one. My get up and gone is gone.